astrology soulmates, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of May 16th, coming in hot off the press of this full moon lunar eclipse in the energy of Scorpio. How do you feel? How are you feeling? What has already started to shift and reset? What have you become aware of? Just a short several hours after the eclipse, what's coming to your consciousness? I look forward to hearing all about that in the comment section down below. And also, let me know what is changing just in your Taurus and Scorpio axes of your chart and in your life that you are surrendering some power control with, starting to feel like you're having that release. What bad behaviors are presenting themselves to you so that you can be working on those? So let me know in the comment section down below. Now, also, make sure that you are going back to the YouTube Academy playlist, which is in the description box of this video, and checking out the class from Melissa LaFara on dignities and abilities. That's where we are starting first with the YouTube Academy. So your job right now is to go back, watch the class, gather your questions or leave your questions underneath her video, and we will be back live with Melissa May 25th at 11 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time for a live Q&A digging into that skill of dignity and ability in the chart. So make sure you are coming there, and check the community tab of my YouTube page for all sorts of updates to the YouTube Academy, especially while I'm getting sorted on the website. Check the community tab for sure. So hopefully you've gone back and you're already watching that class. All right, now let's get in here and talk about what is going on this week. Now, first and foremost, we cannot act like we're not just coming off of this full moon lunar eclipse. This was intense. This was an intensely changing energy for so many of us. And the lead up to this particular energy, I think in that Taurus axis was this desire to build something, to have something substantial and enduring in our lives, whether it's finance, relationships, worth, value, an honest perspective of ourselves, whatever it is in that Taurus area of the chart for you. As we approach this full moon lunar eclipse and we're coming to the other side, it's really about finishing. What can I bring to culmination? What can I make an adjustment on? What can I acknowledge so that I can bring it to culmination, or that I can make these adjustments? Where am I feeling this surrendering to overcome past behaviors, past loves that are just not going to work out, fantasy ideas about different people, places, and things that I have in my life. That idea of, oh, we've been apart for 16 years, maybe this is the time it's going to work out right now. But the behaviors and the attitudes and the actions don't line up with the fantasy. So whether that's around people, whether that's around money, whether it's around travel, whatever it is, it's a real chance with this lunar eclipse over the next 6 months to make sure that the thinking, the words, and the actions are all in alignment so that you're working in the best reality possible. Because really, what Scorpio energy is very good for is helping us overcome obsessions, addictions, fantasies that do more harm than good. And this includes even the stories of our traumas, right? The brain does what the brain does. We need that tour guide to get into that trauma with us, that helper, that teacher, so that we can see the fear, so that we can see the experience for what it really was, instead of letting the brain make it bigger, worse, and more scary to overcome. So it's really a chance to get clear on reality. Now, one of the other things that I was thinking a lot about with this particular eclipse is, are you and do you feel like you are lighter? Right? Do you feel like you're a little bit lighter, not so much heavy baggage? This is a thought and an idea that I'm carrying with me as well over the next 6 months. Do I feel like I'm traveling a little bit more freely, a little bit lighter? Even in that Taurus area, do I have physical possessions that are weighing me down and stopping the blessing of my expansion? So these are questions I would ask and bring to your attention as well. Now, let's go ahead and actually get into the week with what's going on. As we roll into Monday, actually the 16th, we're going to see the moon transition out of that space of Scorpio and move into the energy of Sagittarius, which after all that depth, after after all that lunar depth. First of all, we're still going to be riding that wave, but emotionally, moving into the energy of Sagittarius gives us a space to explore the information that was just provided to us. Explore the depth or death, whatever that may look like in your life, that has been provided to us in our lives, right? And we can get a different belief, a different philosophy, a higher perspective on what happened. And it's at a very emotional level. And sometimes we've got to take that emotional trip into seeing who we are and getting different philosophical beliefs and groundings and teachers to help us in order to be solid moving forward. So we'll experience the energy of that moon in Sagittarius for a couple days until we get to Wednesday, where we're going to see the moon move into the energy of Capricorn, okay? Now, as the moon moves into the energy of Capricorn, think of it as that movement of the zodiac. Deep revelation, new faith comes to the table, new ideas, new philosophies, and from the truth, Sagittarius, the truth will set you free. We move into the space of Capricorn, which now with the truth under my belt, I can achieve honestly, thoroughly, with integrity from the position of the truth. Also, with the moon in Capricorn, what are your ambitions? What are you doing? What do you feel called to? What do you desire to have? Where do you want to grow? Because Capricorn wants to work on that and give you the steady, hang on, we're going to make it work even when it sucks. This is your endurance kind of energy to get the job done. Mars gives us desire. I want to do this. I think I like this. Saturn is like, okay, but are you going to have some withstanding if we're going to get that done? And so Saturn gives us that stamina to get it done, which is really, really phenomenal when it comes down to it, right? Now, when we get to the 19th, we've got the sun in a trine with Pluto, just having had that lunar eclipse again in the energy of Scorpio, Pluto being one of these ruling planets. The sun in a trine to this is a wonderful nod and expression of ease. Okay, the sun is still traveling at this point in the energy of Taurus, so fellow earth energy to this Capricorn, where Pluto is retrograde in the energy of Capricorn. So they're having a nice earthy conversation. This is like, what has dissolved for me? What's not in my physical space anymore, or my physical realm, or what is not in my value structure anymore? What is not evolving? Like I can touch it, taste it, feel it, demonstrate it, right? What's not in my evolutionary scale anymore? And take a good look around with this, because with the sun, our motivation looking nicely with Pluto, they're having a nice conversation with each other. They're having this nice understanding, I think, at this point of the year where you can stop and say, whatever has happened, wherever I have been, whatever it has looked like, I am rebirthed and I am renewing right now. Not I'm trying to renew, not I'm trying to do these things. I'm doing it, and it is happening to me. It is happening within me. I am happening. And I think that this is a wonderful place where the sun and Pluto looking at each other get to have this conversation, especially when we look at this in terms of the global stage, okay? In your communities, in your town, in your own home, where do you feel like systems have been destructed and destroyed, and now you are sensing your own renewal and your own rebirth into the new pattern of things that are going to be? Where have you been figuring out solutions, new solutions to age-old problems, but we're figuring them out now here in 2022? Where have you had some delicious, electrifying innovation that you've maybe forgotten to celebrate it and enjoy it in that pleasure principle of Taurus? Now, later in the day, we're going to see Mercury, who is also retrograde now in the energy of Gemini, come into a gorgeous sextile with Jupiter, who's moved now into the energy of Aries. So we have an air-fire sextile here. So it's like this, dun, 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 right? There's a movement to this particular energy because fire and air come together and they expand things. Like I'm getting bigger, right? Jupiter is bringing an opportunity. It's not yet retrograde. And Mercury, it may be bringing you an opportunity from the past, or an opportunity of something that you had thought about, dreamed about, wanted to talk about from the past, and now you're ready to go back into that to that writing. You're ready to go back into that video, that speaking, that teaching, that learning, that interview process, that communication with your sibling. Maybe you're like, okay, now is time for me to look at buying that house, buying that car. Whatever it is, just know that opportunity is abundantly available under this particular energy. And the gift of the sextile is that we don't just have that nice pocket of opportunity, right? The pocket of opportunity is offered to us, and then we intelligently take action on the opportunity presented. So this is really a lovely energy. And because Jupiter is Jupiter, but also in the energy of Aries, I will tell you, if anybody out there is looking to do publishing, marketing, broadcasting, trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust the message you have. Trust the visuals that you have. Trust it. Put it out there, give it a try, go back to it. You've been thinking about this for long enough. Now take action and trust that the universe has got you, holding your little bottom right in its hands. No way you can screw this thing up except if you don't move, okay? So trust that particular energy, all right, my friends? Now, as we get just a day later, we're going to see the sun move into the energy of Gemini. Okay, Gemini season is on. We're whipping. We're moving into air. We're getting mutable. So first thing to remember is that it is air. So we're a bit more lifted. We're going to move now more into our heads, right? It's a more intellectual space. It's a double sign. One piece of information here, one piece of information here. So you could also just find that this season over the next 4 weeks gets busy for you. Lots of people calling, lots of people texting, decisions to be made. Ruling planet of Gemini is retrograde. Okay, so we are coming into this season with the ruling planet retrograde. So slow down, looking back a little bit, but nonetheless, the sun is motivated to take action on all of that, anything that presents itself. The other thing I would like to caution you to keep in mind as we travel through Gemini season, this is a mutable energy. And wherever this falls in your chart, you're likely to have more indecisiveness and more worry. So as you are navigating this area of your chart and it is highly stimulated, give yourself a chance to close your eyes, get to a dark space or place of your house, meditate, whatever you can do to allow the nervous system to relax so that you can think straight. This is a great tip and trick. And if you are a heavy earth or a heavy fire energy, please make sure you are hydrated, because this air season, all of the air seasons can have you moving and shaking, and before you know it, you're outputting and you're dehydrated before you know it. Now, just a day later, that ruling planet Mercury and the beautiful sun in Gemini come together in a conjunction, so they come cazimi. Now, when the sun and Mercury come together, in regardless of what state it's in, whether Mercury is retrograde or it is direct, as the sun and Mercury come together, it is news. News you can use. You're going to get some information. You're going to get some information. You're going to either get some information or you're going to give some information. This is a bright spot in the day. Communications that you've been thinking about, hoping about, wishing about, thinking about, needing to call back, whatever it is, this is an information portal for the day. And what I can tell you is, send out that email, send out that request, make that podcast, write that letter that you need to, call the attorney, whatever. Use this day to communicate effectively, especially if it is to wrap up something that has already been on your table or to move it along. It is a bright, beautiful day of information. So please do not let it pass off the scene without you taking abundant advantage of that. Okay, now when we get to Sunday, busy day, we see the sun we see the moon moving into the energy of Pisces. So we're going to start to have a wind down, a little bit of an assimilation, and later in the day we're going to see Mars move into a sextile with Pluto. This is one of my favorite aspects, because it takes our action, right? My action, my strategy, my desire, what I'm doing, and it aligns it with Pluto. who's giving an opportunity. I feel very empowered when I move with this. So it is like empowered movement is available to us, empowered strategy, empowered action. And likely, remember, Pluto is still retrograde. So you're moving within a different level of your own consciousness to get this action done, to make this strategy, to stand up for yourself, to transform a situation, whatever that looks like. Now, as we are going to end the day on Sunday and bring in the energy that will carry us into Monday, we see this Mercury retrograde energy sliding back into the energy of Taurus, okay? Now, keep in mind that the Mercury retrograde cycle started on April 26th at 26 degrees of Taurus, okay? And it went retrograde on May 10th at 4 degrees of Gemini. So again, 4 degrees of Gemini to 26 degrees of Taurus is where you're really spotlighting what you're working on during this Mercury retrograde. So now as Mercury slides back into this Taurian area, one, you've already seen it. You've already been over this. So what was happening for you, between April 26th and like the beginning of May? What was happening in this Taurus area for you? Revisit it now. Revisit pleasure, right? Revisit pleasure. Do you have pleasure in your life? Are you pleasuring your body, whether that is with food, that is with drink, that is with something that makes you feel alive and nurtured? Are you touching yourself with beautiful fabric? Are you making your bed and letting your room and your space and your living room, your sofa, be the place that holds you with a luscious embrace? If that is not the experience, maybe use this very mental energy to re-strategize your room, but also go back over any deals, negotiations, conversations that you were having at that time. Now, I will say, Mercury is already not entirely patient in the energy of Taurus because it wants to move, and Taurus is like not having any of that, okay? But also now Mercury retrograde in the energy of Taurus, you may be called to use patience. I would suggest heavily, do not pray, do not spell cast, do not utter to the universe, please give me the gift of patience. Don't ask for it. Don't ask for it, because you will be given every opportunity to practice it. The universe is not coming with a little sachet of patience to drop on you and you're going to be blessed. It doesn't work that way, friends. Okay, so don't pray for it. Just practice it. While Mercury comes back into the energy of Taurus, just practice patience. Stay curious. Stay willing to see something from a different position or to hold Taurus in a fixed way where you need to, if you know that your information is correct, all right? All right, my beautiful friends, I hope you have a gorgeous week. Please, again, make sure you are checking out the first class, Dignities and Debilities with Melissa LaFara. Also, coming up on June 1st, we're going to have another eat and greet, come back to the table with our friend Shane M. Nygaard. It's really exciting. I'm excited to share that with you guys. And last little announcement before we wrap up, if you are looking to build your business, I have got a 5-week astrology business course. It's a pre-recorded course, but it is now available for sale. I'll make sure that's in the description box down below, along with all of the transits and little details on what those transits mean as well, which you've also been able to see on your screen, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.